In this video, we're going to check out the volcano.
Dying to hear what you're gonna say.
For more Hawaii videos, make sure you're subscribed and click that notification bell so you're alerted every time we post a new video.
Aloha, I'm Mariam, and this is Yes to Hawaii. We make Hawaii videos, take the guesswork out of planning your trip. As always, I'll leave timestamps in the description box below, so feel free to skip around the video to the parts that you came here for. So we are here at Honolulu International Airport, and we are going to island hop today to go over to Hilo. When you land here at Hilo, if you need to get a rental car, the rental car lot is literally right across the street from where you guys get off the plane. It's a quick, less than 2-minute walk, and then all the major companies are here. So there's a Hertz, a Thrifty, Enterprise, Dollar, lots of different companies to choose from, and it's literally right across from the Hilo Airport. You don't need to take a shuttle, and you can walk literally right across the street.
After we grabbed the car, we headed over to Hilo Town. This was a spot where we grabbed lunch. It's called Pineapples, and it's got this nice indoor-outdoor area. This drink was delicious, and they serve it in a real pineapple. They even add some whipped cream on top. Would recommend. After that, we headed over to Puna Chocolate Company. I really like this place if you're looking to get some souvenirs to send back. They've got these Hawaiian luggage tags. This one's super cute. They also have some jewelry. A little bit farther down, there's some treats if you wanted to have for your pets. They have tons of chocolate drinks, which I absolutely loved. They even have this so you can see where it comes from. I got the iced chocolate and it was absolutely delicious. We walked down a little bit inside, and I really like that a lot of the stuff was locally made. They show you how the chocolate is made here. Lots of chocolate, so much chocolate. And then just over here, you can see the rest of the store. If you're looking to get some Hawaiian jewelry, this is a really great place for it as well. After the afternoon of exploring, we headed to Volcanoes National Park. We headed there around 8 o'clock for the first run, and we're so glad that we did. It's pretty dark out there, but luckily there's plenty of park rangers to show you where to go. We're checking out the stars and the constellations, and you guessed it, the next thing that we saw, not the yellow jackets, the next thing that we saw was the volcanoes.
We stand on the opposite shore. Hello, moon.
Good morning! So today we're here at Volcano. We just woke up, and yesterday we checked out Volcano National Park. This was one of the best places that we found to stay for a couple of reasons. First off, from here to Volcano National Park, it was only a 5-minute drive. We knew we were going to check out Volcano National Park late at night, and we didn't want to be driving all across the island that late at night. Second, the price was reasonable for the location. It ran us about $150. I'll leave a link in the description box below if you guys want to stay here. This place is super simple. It's about, I want to say maybe 6-7 rooms all together, and there's a hot tub in the center. Or it's definitely more of a casual Airbnb, super low-key and no frills, but for the price point and location, it worked out perfectly for us. The owner came out and met us, and he was super nice and friendly, introduced us, gave us some tips on where to eat nearby. Definitely would recommend a place like this if you wanted to come over just to see the volcanoes. So from Oahu to here, it was a quick 45-minute flight. We flew into Hilo Airport, which is ITO. And from Hilo Airport to here, it was about a 45-minute drive. Actual mileage was around 23 miles or so. From here to Volcano National Park, it was only a 5-minute drive. So for us, it was super easy. We actually came to Volcano National Park twice for this specific trip. The first time we went was a little bit earlier in the evening, around 8 p.m. And the second time we went was later, closer to 11 p.m. We wanted to get some really, really nice photos, but we didn't want tons and tons of people out there. If you decide to do this option, I would copy our itinerary. Go there earlier, around 7:30 or 8 o'clock, because that's when the park rangers are going to be there, and they'll be able to point out to you and show you everything, where to go, where to turn, where to park. The later in the night you go, the park rangers aren't necessarily going to be there pointing out everything for you. So what should you bring to Volcano National Park? It definitely depends on what time of day you go. If you're going to see the volcano and the lava flow like we did, the best time to go is that it's between 8 o'clock and onwards. If you're traveling with kids, I would definitely recommend going a little bit earlier. The later in the night you go, you're going to be able to see the glow of the volcano and the lava a lot better. So when I first did this trip, I've gone to Volcano National Park and I've done a few lava walks where you get really close to the lava. I wasn't sure what to expect for this trip, but this was completely easy. You go to Volcano National Park, drive in, it's $30 for admission per car. Once you get there, there's a few different parking lots. If you go around 8 o'clock, which is the time that we went, there's tons of people out there, which is a good thing because it's hard to find where you're going in the dark if you've never been here before. For this specific trip, I would say and highly, highly recommend that you go earlier. Like I said, around 8 o'clock, maybe 7:30, because there's tons of park rangers out and they're wearing glowing outfits. That way you can see them in the dark and they're pointing you in the right direction. There's 2 different parking lots at Volcano National Park if you're going to see the lava viewing. At the time of this filming, it is November the 7th, 2021. Definitely make sure you check their website if there's any updates to see if the lava has stopped flowing. But for us, we had friends that went the weekend before and the weekend before that. We looked it up and we knew the lava was going to still be flowing. So from Volcano National Park, there's 2 different parking lots. The first parking lot is going to be the one that's farther away from the entrance point and closest to the lava flow. At 8 o'clock when we went, that first parking lot was closed. We decided to park in the second parking lot, which is where the park rangers directed us. From that parking lot, it's an extra half-a-mile walk to that main parking lot, and then it's another mile, mile and a half or so to get to the lava viewing. Everything is clearly marked. There's pavement, very easy to find. If you're not walking on pavement, you have gone the wrong way. The pathway from the farther parking lot to that first main parking lot that's closer to the viewing, the path is maybe, I'd say about this wide, and it's all completely paved. One thing that I would 2 things I would definitely recommend. First off, bring a flashlight, bring 2 flashlights. So I brought a headlamp and my battery died on me. So I ended up using my cell phone battery. Take 2 flashlights. I ended up bringing my headlamp, which has a red feature, that way it doesn't ruin your night vision, but my battery died on the trip. So I ended up using just my regular cell phone flashlight, but I would definitely recommend if you're coming to Volcano to check out the lava flow, bring 2 flashlights. Second, dress warm. And I don't mean throw on a long sleeve shirt. It gets really chilly in this area, closer to about 58, 50 degrees. And it's not necessarily the coldness that's the issue. It's very, very windy once you get closer up there. So I'll show you guys later on in the video what I decided to bring and pack for this specific trip. I wore a tank top, t-shirt, this hoodie that you can see right here. I also wore a fleece, and then I had this giant windbreaker as well, and I was pretty comfortable. I would also recommend to bring a hat. So I wore this like super comfy beanie. It seems like it's a little bit much at first because you're thinking, oh, I'm in Hawaii, why would I need all that gear? But in actuality, I was super comfortable. And when you think about it, when you're outside that late at night, it's super windy. You're walking 1.5, 2 miles each direction to get to the lava viewing. And once you get there, you want to stay there a little bit. You don't want it to be so cold that you're miserable. I did see some people wearing just hoodies, but you have to think as well that the wind is going to go right through this fabric, so it's not going to be quite as warm. One thing that I did not do, and I wish that I did, was I wish I brought my regular camera. So when I did this trip, I thought the hike, the distance was going to be a bit longer. I didn't realize everything was going to be on a paved trail. I wish I would have brought my professional Canon M50 camera so I could take some really good photos in low light. Luckily, I did have my iPhone, and using the low light setting, we were able to get some really good photos. On the second time we went out at 11 o'clock, we saw 2 professional photographers, and they were absolutely amazing. They saw us struggling trying to take photos. I had used my friend's headlamp as a source of light. That way I could take pictures using the low light setting and having the volcano in the background. I didn't even get this guy's name, but there were 2 professional cameramen that were there with their professional cameras. I mean, you could tell they had lenses that were out of control, but they had this massive like light set that they were able to use, and thankfully let us borrow that. That way we could take some really nice pictures. If you have a professional camera and you do this trip, bring the professional camera. I had friends who had done this trip before, and they did mention that sometimes it does rain in this area, so if you do decide to bring your professional camera, make sure you put it in a dry bag just in case. So For this trip, I only filmed with two things. I filmed with my GoPro Hero 10, which is what I'm filming on right now, and I also filmed with my iPhone. I brought those two items because I didn't bring a waterproof bag, and I also didn't want my camera gear to get damaged. However, after doing this trip and seeing how incredibly easy it was to get there, the terrain, everything, I most definitely regret not bringing my camera. But I hope this helps you guys if you do decide to do this trip, and if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments down below. But of course, one thing I definitely recommend above all else, make sure you do stay on the paved trail. It's completely pitch black out there, and if you get lost in the lava field, like,
We lucked out that we went to Volcanoes National Park the day before, because today was nothing but rain. We headed out of the Airbnb and went back to Hilo Town to look for a good spot for lunch. Hilo Town is a nice little area if you're looking to grab a bite to eat, walk around for a bit, do some local shopping. Overall, this town is about 45 minutes away from where the Airbnb was located. After staying up late the night before to head up to Volcano National Park, we wanted a really hearty brunch. So we drove and we found this place, Coconut Grill. We checked out their menu and it had exactly what we were looking for. We wanted a nice hearty brunch, and this place was known for its egg-exceptional omelets. We tried a few different things, but my favorite thing that I tried was of course their omelets, but also the lilikoi toast, which is super delicious. The menu was really good, and we got, of course, caffeine. I grabbed a cup of tea and my friend grabbed a coffee, and as you can see, I demolished this. It was super tasty. And after brunch, we headed to Sugar Coast Candy. Unassuming on the outside, tons of stuff on the inside.
We're inside of Sugar Coast Candy. This whole store is nothing but candy, tons of stuff that you can pick up, and it's called the Sugar Coast Candy Store specifically because this area used to be known as the Sugar Coast because of the sugarcane plantation.
So much candy. But now on to the next stop. We had a couple hours left of our flight, so we walked around Hilo some more. There's quite a few shops that are here. Keep in mind that some of these shops were closed because it was Sunday, and it's limited hours. This place was pretty cool. There's a gallery. There's a few other restaurants that are in this area, but overall it was a nice place to just kind of walk around, get some fresh air. Had to grab one last iced chocolate, and then we headed out. When we got back to the Hilo Airport, the car rental drop-off was super easy. There was one main area just behind where we had actually picked up the vehicle. After that, we grabbed all of our stuff and headed over to check into our flight. Just like that, back to Oahu we go. Once you get into the Hilo Airport, once you get into the Hilo Airport, there is some area to lounge around. If you wanted to, you can grab a drink or a quick bite to eat here. We were given one of these passes when we island hopped back to Oahu. And just like that, we're home. Finally. Just like that, 24 hours from Oahu to Big Island and back. And we're finally home, back to Honolulu. I hope you guys liked this video and found it helpful. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing. And if there's any other Hawaii videos you'd like to see, definitely leave them in the comments down below.